presenting a project wherein the purpose of this project is to introduce herself to the club and to learn the basic structure of a public speech. She is completing a Pathways Innovative Planning Level 1, Project 1, which is the IceBreaker. Rainey, as a background, is an art director from Singapore, an English-speaking country and city made of immigrants like the US, borrowing cultures from neighboring countries like China, India, Malaysia, and others. Being a Chinese descent from generation ago, Chopsticks is a huge part of her dining etiquette in her family. Today, she would love to reintroduce herself to everyone with the art of chopstick. Please welcome Rainy Fu Chopsticks, Chopsticks Rainy Fu.
Here's the pair of chopsticks. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, members, and fellow guests. Today I want to share with you a very personal story about chopsticks and 3 things you can actually learn from these 2 pieces of sticks. So let me start with a short story about myself. So once upon a time, in a faraway land, which is true, in Singapore, there's a family of 5, and every single night, this family of 5 would have dinner by the dinner table every single day. And without fail, chopsticks is always a huge part of my family. Now, why would I say that? Because being a Chinese immigrant, this has always been something that we're used to. But for me and for a Singaporean, growing up in the Western culture too, having fork seems like the easiest way to do. Why do you need chopsticks when you can just easily use fork? So for me, when I was growing up, I used it any wrong way that I could, with my hands in the middle, and I settled on this part of chopsticks, which is way too high for how you actually use it. And based on the myth, the higher you hold your chopsticks, the further away you will be from your family, married off to a faraway land, you'll be living off to a faraway place. And to me, during then, I was actually really excited. I'm like, I'm going to New York City. That's the furthest away that you can be from Singapore. But of course, it wasn't well received. But guess where I am right now? So fast forward to when I'm 21. I find myself in a place, but it's not New York City. It's Savannah, Georgia. Has anyone been to Savannah before? I think not bad, a few of them. So Savannah, for everybody that haven't been, is a beautiful place. It's where Forrest Gump is filmed. But it's also where the Dawn of the Dead was filmed too. So it's beautiful, but it's really boring and really dead. And for me, at that point of time, I feel like I made the wrong decision. Oh my gosh. From Singapore to Savannah, that seems like a very big step and the wrong move. It feels like my life from the go, go, go part all the way to a standstill. It feels like nothing is moving. And at the point, I was very depressed. It feels like I made a huge mistake. And at that point, I realized that maybe what I need to do is to restructure how I think and have a different perspective of what a slow life meant to me. And just like that, I learned how to savor every single moment. I learned how to have better interaction. And from then, I met 2 of my best friends from college. And that is my lesson number 2 for chopsticks. It feels like having the fork seems like a good idea, which most part it is. But if you have a bit of patience and a bit of technique in life, you can easily get what you want from just a pair of chopsticks, the way you hold it. And with my 2 of my best friends, we have the same goal, which is to go to New York City. As again, like what my dream was 7 years, like when I was 7 years old. So with that, with just $500 in my bank account, with no job, with no place to stay, the three of us, we rented a budget truck, put all the furniture from college into the budget truck and drove 11 hours from Savannah to New York City. That was a very crazy move. Don't do that, guys. And from then, I realized my second point about Chopsticks. And many times, you always feel like you're by yourself, finding your own goals. You're always trying to achieve what you achieve, and you feel like nobody could actually understand where you're coming from. Especially when you're in New York City, you have no friends or family, most like no family. But there are some times where you can just easily meet somebody that's doing the same thing as you are and putting in the same amount of effort to get where you want to be. And here, this is where I am right now in New York City. After all the struggle, 8 years in New York, working my dream job as an art director and events design. So that comes to my last point. This piece of Chopsticks taught me the most important lesson, which is you should always aim high because you will never know what that will actually get you to. Thank you.